Hi, beautiful people. Excuse the appearance. I was getting ready to go to bed, but I just wanted to have a conversation about tenderness and fear and feeling those things when they do come up. It is currently 1 a.m. and I'm going through a range of emotions right now. And that's completely normal when big change is being enacted in your life. Let's light some candles and just kind of be present for this conversation. Just have a chat about leaning into those emotions when they come up. Here, I'll put my cupcake one over here. And I'm gonna light an incense as well. Sandalwood is very clearing, so I'll light that one. Some clearing energy in here. It's always needed when these heavier emotions come up. So yeah, I am currently just feeling, like I said, a large range of emotions, from sadness to anxiety to overwhelmed to mostly fear. If I were to pinpoint where these emotions are coming from, they're mostly coming from a place of fear. And the thing about fear is that it comes up so that it can show you where you're still holding yourself back, or where you're still being held back, where you're not allowing yourself to grow to a higher potential. So the beautiful thing about sitting with and embracing these energies is that even though they might hurt, even though they might feel uncomfortable, working through it is what helps you get to the next level. Working through it is what helps you become comfortable with uncomfortable. And this is why I'm such a proponent of energy work and sitting with your emotions and embracing your feelings. Because when we run away from them, when we hide from them, it only makes it harder for us to see what we really need to see in order to grow. And the whole point is that we want to grow. The whole point is that we want to become a better version of ourselves. We want to hit that next level. And that next level is scary because we don't know what it looks like. We don't know how we're going to get there. Forgive me because I'm having this conversation while I'm still feeling it, while I'm still processing it, and I think that's why I wanted to just record right now. Even though it's super late, I probably won't get this out to you guys until tomorrow because nobody's up anyways. But I wanted to record it because I'm feeling it, because it's sitting here in my heart. I can feel it in my chest. It's moving through my stomach. It's moving up and down my central nervous system. And it's asking for me to look at it so that it can be cleared, so that it can be healed, so that I can push through to these energies. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be gone by tomorrow. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. And by gone, I don't mean gone for good. I just mean subsided. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm betting it probably won't be, because where I'm at, where I'm trying to go, requires a lot of looking deep in myself to see, am I really ready to do this? And if I'm not ready, why? Because these feelings that are within me. So when fear comes up in your life, in your heart, in your body, it's asking you to do the same thing. It's asking you to sit with yourself. Ask yourself why you're not ready. Question what part of you doesn't feel ready. We keep calling in these dreams, we keep calling in these things just to start fighting against it and having this anxious energy towards it when it does come in. When it starts to come in, when it starts to seem like it can actually be our reality, we start to literally, I'm internally shaking. I can feel it this whole conversation. I'm shaking because that's the fear. It's trying to push me out of my comfort zone, and our comfort zone is comfortable. That's why we stay in it. That's why we're afraid, because we don't know what the other side looks like. We don't know what it feels like. But if we don't go for it, we're missing out on opportunities for even better. If we stay comfortable, we don't grow. We don't become the person we want to become. If I listen to my fear and don't move through it, then I'm not going to get the same opportunities I will if I don't listen to it. I'm not trying to just ignore my fear, but I am trying to sit with it. And it's heavy. Let me bring this smoke over one more time, because it's heavy. But acknowledging the heaviness is the best thing that we can do for our own growth. It's the best way that we can push ourselves to that next level. We get triggered when our comfort zone is in question. We get triggered when we know we want to go somewhere, but we internally don't feel ready. Nobody ever really feels ready for the next phase of their life. Parents aren't ready to become parents. You just get there and you do it. Being ready is subjective to what we think being ready should look and feel like. We get ready when we're in the midst of it. And that's kind of the scary part. Is that being in the middle of it is gonna look very different for everybody. And no matter how much planning and overthinking and accounting for everything and trying to up-level yourself in many ways, no matter how much you think you do that, you're still going to be faced with challenges at the next level that you're going to have to meet when you get there. When we're constantly in the future, constantly worrying about things of the future, we're creating this endless cycle of anxiety for us because we're concentrating on something that we cannot control, nor do we know what it's going to look like. Being present, being here, being now, that's what allows our energy to be more stable, to be more clear. That way we do have a sense of direction for where it is that we're going. There's no real time like the present. That's why when these emotions come up, you have to sit with them. You have to look at them. You have to question them. Because if you continue to push them to the side, if you continue to push them down, to ignore them, to act like they're not here, they're just going to keep coming up at every point in your life until you can sit with it and acknowledge it. And when you can sit in the present moment and just truly acknowledge and embrace and honor how you're feeling, it allows you to move through the energy more so that you can move forward in a way that's in alignment with where you're trying to go. Not in a way where you're just running away from something you don't want to deal with to try to get somewhere else, because that somewhere else is also going to have things that you have to deal with. So if you run from everything, if you run from your emotions, you're going to spend your entire life running. And no matter where you are, no matter how great you think things can be, there's always going to be something in the moment, in the situation, that challenges your energy, that makes you have to stop and think, that makes you have to sit with yourself. These feelings of fear within me, I wish I could just say, okay, it's not that serious. It's just gonna go away. But I have to work with it and sit with it and honor it in order for it to go away. And in order for me to feel like I can achieve what it is that I'm trying to achieve. Because the next version of me isn't someone who runs and hides from her own feelings. Our emotions are the guide to our lives. They're the key to understanding our happiness. They're the key to understanding what we want and need. And for so long in society, it's been acceptable to repress the way you feel. That's been the preferred method of going about things. Don't do things that make you happy. Do things for other people instead. Or do what society wants you to do. Don't follow your dreams. Follow the path of money. Don't listen to your heart. Just listen to what would make you look better to others. We have spent so long running away from our emotions and repressing them and not allowing ourselves to feel, and not allowing ourselves to listen to our body and our hearts when they're trying to guide us a certain way. And that has led us into a life of unfulfillment and unhappiness and running and running and running and self-medicating and escapism in unhealthy ways, instead of escaping into a world of creativity and imagination and dreaming your wildest dream. When your body wants to escape in those ways, when your body wants to repress your emotions so much, or when you tell your body to repress your emotions so much, it doesn't know where else to channel the energy. It doesn't know how else to be expressed. And we have been taught to self-medicate and to hide away from how we're feeling, instead of getting face to face with the discomfort so that we can feel through it, so that we can heal, so that we can level up, so that we can be the person that we want to be. The person that we want to be is scary. It's scary because we don't know it. We haven't been there yet. It's scary because our minds and our past traumas come in, and the ego comes in and brings in all these fears and brings in all these what ifs and kind of puts you into survival mode. In a lot of ways, we need to learn how to quiet that reptilian brain, that survival brain, that brain that's telling you to be in fight or flight. When you're trying to go after the life you want to go after and be creative and dream as big as you can dream, your fight or flight response is not going to serve you in this way. It's not going to help you along this path. Your fight or flight response is meant to help you when you need to fight or flight. But we're fighting and flighting from our dreams. And that's not working. It's not doing us any favors. So when these emotions come up, it's so you can look deeper within and really take time to sit with yourself and to light an incense and allow the smoke to cleanse the air and light a candle. And sitting with yourself doesn't have to look so hidden and ugly. And I don't even mean that in a bad way, because sometimes me sitting with myself doesn't look very pretty, and I might just sit in a dark room and cry for hours. But if that's what my body needs, then it needs that. But sitting with yourself can also look like this. It can look very healing. It can look very clearing. It can look very aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, it's not about aesthetics. But sometimes when you can create that beauty in different aspects of your life, including when you need to look into your fear and look into the things that are weighing on you, if you can create beauty around you, it helps you honor those moments a little bit more. If I just sit in a dark room every single time I feel afraid, well, then I'm going to be afraid to face my own fear, because to me it's always going to look like it has to be so isolated and sad and lonely, and it doesn't need to be. I'm here right now communicating these things to you, talking to you as I feel my fear, with an incense burning, with a candle lit, with pretty lighting that makes me feel a little bit better. Because just because I feel afraid doesn't mean that I have to hide away from the world. And that's the other big thing with our fear and with these big emotions that come up in our body. We think and have been taught that when we feel like this, when this comes up, that we need to hide away. And that's not the case. Because other people resonate with you. Other people feel that even if it's not in the moment. Even if you can't get them to. Maybe even just step outside. Turn on the lights. Walk around for a minute. Make yourself feel like just because you're feeling doesn't mean you have to be isolated and in solitude. That's always going to make you afraid to go into yourself and feel what you need to feel, because you feel like you're not accepted for it. So I'm here to tell you that you are accepted for it. I'm here to tell you to go into those feelings. I'm going into them right now, and I know I have some further investigation to do within my own energy body, and to really work through it a little bit more on a deeper level that maybe does require some solitude. But it doesn't need to be solitude in a negative way. It could just be solitude in a way where I know I'm doing the healing and clearing, and not because I need to hide, but because I really want to work on myself so that I can go forward in the ways that I would like to, in the ways that I would like to pursue my dreams. Like I said, it's 1 a.m. and these energies are heavy. Sometimes it's hard for me to fall asleep when I'm feeling like this. So I'll probably just put on a little bit of a guided meditation, maybe do some journaling to kind of look deeper into these feelings. We do have an eclipse coming in 2 days. So I'm also mentally reminding myself of that as well. That, some of these things are coming up because we're entering that eclipse portal. We're entering eclipse season where these deeper emotions and deeper energies come up so that they can be looked at and worked through so that you can get to the next phase and season of your life. So we have an eclipse coming up in a couple days, and I'll probably be sitting with and working with these energies for the next few weeks. Hopefully every day doesn't look like this or feel as heavy or make me feel as shaky and nervous. But all I can do is try to honor them as much as I can, and you can do the same. Continue integrating with your own being and getting to know who you are, what you want, and what your heart and soul are saying to you when things come up. because they come up for a reason. Even if it's painful to look at first, or painful to see, or painful to feel, when we start to go into feeling it, we realize that it's not as bad as we think. We realize that we're normal, that it's okay, that it's just fear of the unknown. So how can we be more courageous in the unknown? How can we honor ourselves and the path that we want, even though we're a little afraid? And one of my favorite things that I like to practice when I feel fear is to ask myself, on the other side of this fear, is there more fear or is there excitement? If there's more fear, then maybe that's not meant for you. But if there's a part of you that's like, wow, that's exciting, that's exhilarating, that's something I could really look forward to if that manifested in my life, then it might be worth working through and looking into just going after. So I hope this video helped you guys, someone in some way. It's not easy. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy to come out and be vulnerable and have these conversations. But that's because that's what we've been taught that way. So that's why I just wanted to stop and make this video to show you that it's okay. If you can see that it's okay for me to do that, for me to express myself and me to express my fear and how I'm feeling inside, then it's okay for you to as well. And I highly recommend you finding a beautiful community. Join mine if you'd like. Leave a comment. Tell me how you're feeling or a fear that's coming up for you. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to just chat. If you're not comfortable with that either, that's okay. Just leave a like, stick around a little bit. Feel free to reach out to somebody though. Or feel free to just sit with yourself, but without judgment and without running away as much as you can. Because it's worth it to understand yourself and why things are coming up. You're going to be in this body for, I hope, a very, very long time. So your best bet is to get to know it and to see where it's guiding and leading you in every season and phase of your life. So I love you. And I hope on the other side of your fear is something so beautiful, so exciting, and so new. That way you can go after the life you want. Go after something adventurous, something exciting, something that you've dreamed of. Alright guys, I am going to attempt to go to sleep now. And I hope this video gets to you very, very soon, and just good energy. And I hope you receive it well. And I will see you in my next video.